That's the one thing about our audience. They always want a new guy to break through the glass ceiling.
All you have to do is just be real.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. I am the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, talking is done, you're out of your class, no sleep till Brooklyn, The Rock whips your ass.
Woo! I wish you and King would quit talking.
Welcome to Around the Ring, episode 81. I am one half of your host, Dave Brown. Floyd Johnson, my co-host, is on assignment down in San Antonio. It is Royal Rumble weekend. It is Sunday, January 29th, 2017. And today we are doing Royal Rumble predictions. Last night was NXT TakeOver San Antonio. It was an excellent show, but we are not going to talk about that today because tomorrow on Monday, God willing, Floyd and I are going to record a review for our YouTube channel of both the Royal Rumble itself and NXT TakeOver San Antonio. I did enjoy the heck out of the show last night. I went into it with very low expectations, possibly some of the lowest expectations I've had on a NXT TakeOver card, if not ever in a long time, and it really delivered. Especially I thought the main event was quite good. One other thing, later on today I will be recording an episode of Express Talk with our good friend Michael from WrestlingExpress.net. He's asked me to be on his show, so we're going to do that a little later on this morning. But before we jump into the Royal Rumble, the other big news of this week was Kenny Omega finally announced his plans, and his plans are to stay with New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was probably, honestly, not much of a surprise. Anyone that follows New Japan, and to be honest, I don't follow it as much as I'd like. The majority of New Japan that I follow is via the Voices of Wrestling podcast. The guys on that show, the flagship show, talk a lot of New Japan, and that's kind of how I am able to stay up with things. But they, for the longest time, talked about how he's not going anywhere, and the theory is either he was working everyone, or pretty much basically that he was just working folks. And you know what, he if he was doing that, then my hat's off to him. He's got this thing down pat. I don't think he was lying at any point, but for fuck's sake, it is professional wrestling and it is work. So tonight we will not see Kenny Omega, the cleaner, show up at the Royal Rumble. He has squashed that. I do suspect in a few months we will see him return to New Japan because he's not on this current tour and the following tour. And when we do, I expect him to be in another high-profile bit on the card because he's freaking awesome. And that match with Okada earlier this month was just unreal. So that's my thoughts on that. Let's go ahead and jump into the Royal Rumble. The show's going to be a pretty short one today. Just going to get in, get out, get it done, and get ready for the Royal Rumble because it's going to be awesome. Even though it is, including the pre-show, 6 hours. And so I'm looking at this card, right? I'm here on the Wikipedia looking at the Royal Rumble matches. Including the pre-show, there are a total of 8 matches. 3 of these are on the pre-show. So the pre-show is 2 hours. Royal Rumble itself is 4 hours long. More isn't always better, folks. This is going to be kind of ridiculous. But it makes me wonder how many more things are going to get added. How long is the Rumble itself? I'm guessing, probably the last hour of the show is going to be just the Rumble match. But beyond that, speaking of WWE, please do me a favor, do us all a favor. Stop saying, when you say Royal Rumble and you're talking about the match, stop calling it the Royal Rumble match, or just say it once, and then for the rest of the conversation, just say the Royal Rumble. If someone says, I'm entering myself in the Royal Rumble, we as fans understand that is referring to the match and not the event. We're not dumb, okay? We're not stupid. So please stop, because it's fucking annoying. It gets really old all the time. Royal Rumble match, Royal Rumble match, Royal Rumble match. Just like when you call like pay-per-views like WWE Roadblock or End of the Line, and you have to add all the... No, stop it. I know branding's important, but sweet Jesus, man, give it up. So, pre-show, looks like it's going to start out with Sasha Banks taking on Nia Jax in a singles match. Okay, so this is where I get to be, honest. And anyone who's listened to this show knows that I have had a hard time keeping up with the Raw, especially the Raw lately. It is just... It's too long, and it's not that good, and so I have not seen much of the build-up for this. I love Sasha Banks. I like Nia Jax. I really don't know. I suspect that Nia is going to get the win. I would like Sasha to get the win. But who knows? It's a pre-show match. There are going to be like 14 people there. The next one is the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match with a stipulation of 2 referees. Champions Cesaro and Sheamus taking on Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So, really... You can go one of two ways. You can either turn this into a running joke gimmick that Gallows and Anderson never win the titles, which would be kind of funny. And it sucks that what happened with Gallows and Anderson. Honestly, Gallows and Anderson should have gone to SmackDown, where they could have been more dominant. And if the plan the whole time was to keep the belts on the New Day to beat Demolition's record, which was a fine plan, New Day deserved to do that. And, WWE is a bunch of spiteful bitches, so they're going to do anything they can to stick it to somebody, especially someone suing them, i.e. the guys in Demolition. So Gallows and Anderson on Raw were never going to have a chance of winning the belt, and we've seen them lose and lose and lose and lose and lose, and it's hard to take them seriously, even though, especially Carl Anderson, we know is really stinking good, and I would like to see something happen with these guys, and maybe at some point here in the next, 6 months, sometime around SummerSlam, if they decide to have a yearly draft and to shake things up, I would, 1, like to see NXT involved in that, and 2, maybe Gallows and Anderson end up going to NXT or go to SmackDown. They need to get off of Raw. And so, yeah. But with this match, I really want to see Sheamus and Cesaro win this. They have been an excellent tag team. Generally speaking, I don't like Sheamus, but I love him tag teaming with Cesaro. And I love me some Cesaro. He is one of my favorite wrestlers around right now. I just think he is fantastic. So my bet is going Cesaro retains. And then we have a 6-woman tag team match from the SmackDown side of things. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi taking on Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. With Mickie James just showing back up, I highly doubt she's going to lose, so I suspect that the heels will go over, and that will be that. Next up on the actual main show, and this is interesting, I just noticed this, every single match on the main card is for championship. That's kind of cool. First up, we have Rich Swann defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Neville. Okay, I love Rich Swann. I think he is one of the 3 best things. Well, there are 4 things in 205 Live in the Cruiserweight division that I think are really, really good. Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, oh my God, Jack Gallagher, I blanked on his name, and Neville. Heel Neville has been amazing, but Neville needs to win this match. He needs to be the one to hold this belt and just be an ass-kicking heel. Apparently 205 Live in the ratings is not doing well. They've got to start recording this in front of smaller crowds. They can't have it just after SmackDown. It's not working. You need this to be in a smaller, smarkier audience. I mean, if this is... And Floyd always says that 205 Live is kind of WWE trying to do Ring of Honor. Well, if that's the case, they need to run buildings that Ring of Honor would run so they can get that hardcore audience in there that would, eat this shit up. This match probably will be one of the best matches on the entire night. I mean, Neville is amazing, and so is Rich Swann, so I have high hopes for this, but again, I think Neville is taking the belt. Next up, the Raw Women's Championship, Charlotte defending against Bayley. I think there's about a snowball's chance in hell Bayley wins. They don't know how to book Bayley, and it sucks what I'm seeing. I mean, Charlotte is doing great, but this is not the event for Charlotte to finally lose at a pay-per-view. So Bayley loses. Next up for the WWE Universal Championship, it's a no DQ match. Kevin Owens defending against Roman Reigns. Chris Jericho will be suspended in a shark cage above the ring. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything's pointing to this Roman Reigns winning it, unless the plan really is for Roman Reigns and Undertaker at WrestleMania. Whatever. Kevin Owens has not been booked very well as champion, honestly, because you can tell the folks in the back still have raging boners for Roman Reigns. It doesn't matter that he comes out to enormous boos. I mean, it's embarrassing how much this poor fool is getting booed. This guy gets booed worse, I think, than John Cena does sometimes. Yes, some kids cheer for him. You see kids in Roman Reigns t-shirts. That's great. But he needs to turn heel. And he really doesn't have to do much of a change of personality, because he comes off like a dick. Just, let's amplify that a little bit. I really don't know on this. My gut says Roman Reigns is going to walk away, and then the place will take a huge fat shit all over it. Now, then we have the WWE World Championship. I'm sorry, I'm not just calling it the WWE Championship, because that definitely makes it sound like a secondary belt to the Universal belt. AJ Styles defending against John Cena. This will, if this is not match of the night, it's definitely going to be Swann and Neville. These two guys had such a phenomenal match at SummerSlam, and you get John Cena in there with a great wrestler, and he will give you killer matches. These guys have a really good chemistry together. The build to this has been great. John Cena is about as heely as we have ever seen him. He's such a swarmy dick. And I would love it if he just went all the way with it. They're not going to with the guy. But this would be maybe a good place for them to do a double turn. I don't know. From everything we're hearing rumor-wise, Owens and Styles will not be champions going into WrestleMania. So, the club could get involved, and then Styles could lose the belt to Cena at the Elimination Chamber. But everything's telling me, I mean, just my heart, as much as it pains me to say this, John Cena is probably going to walk out of here with the belt. And that will be two big shits then the WWE will be putting in the mouth of the fans. And this place will go nuts. And the Rumble match itself better fucking deliver if they change both of these titles and put them on two guys, one who's almost universally despised, and the other one people are still love to boo and is acting like pretty much a dick lately. So that is that. And then we have the Rumble itself. Now, here are the list of announced participants. We have Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, The Undertaker, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Luke Harper, Big Show, Sami Zayn, Big Cass, too many people with the name Big, god damn it, Rusev, and Mojo Rawley. Fucking Mojo Rawley, really? Really? God bless America. So yeah, I would, you know who I would love to see win this? Fucking Luke Harper. That would just be, but that's not going to happen. I mean, I think it's safe to say Goldberg and Lesnar aren't winning. They're going to eliminate each other and continue their feud on to Mania. Unless they really want to put the belt on Goldberg. Who fucking knows? Miz might win it. I don't think Undertaker's winning it. I don't think Strowman's winning it. I think Strowman gets eliminated by either Sami Zayn or James Ellsworth, or James Ellsworth and Sami Zayn working together. Eliminate Strowman. From NXT, if the main event to TakeOver last night is any indication, we are probably going to see Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, and Ty Dillinger coming up from NXT. There's a slight possibility that someone like Tyler Bate, the UK champion, could show up. You could have, I mean, what would be fun is to put Cedric Alexander in there. That, I think, would be really cool. I have no idea who's going to win this. I mean, unlike in years past, where it was really obvious last year, it was just painfully obvious Triple H was going to win it. The year before that, it was painfully obvious that Roman Reigns was going to win it. The year before that, it was painfully obvious that Batista was going to win it. And tell you what, the Batista win and the Roman Reigns win, those crowds pooped on so hard. They hated it. Hated it. And understandably so. This is the most unpredictable Rumble in probably a long time, and I know a lot of people are saying that. That's a pretty common talking point, is that this is a very unpredictable Royal Rumble, and it's true. This is a very unpredictable Royal Rumble. That makes it entertaining, though, so that's cool. So I'm gonna go with, I don't know. For shock value, Shinsuke Nakamura winning would be incredible, or even say a Samoa Joe. But then, you know, what's going to happen with Seth Rollins? I mean, he did show up last night at TakeOver, called out Triple H. He's not on this card anywhere. And, yeah, we'll see. It's, that was cool. I got to give him props. Seth Rollins showing up at the NXT thing, that was pretty cool. Though it took a little bit away from the women's title match during the intros and entrances and whatnot. It was still kind of cool. But yeah, that's the Royal Rumble. Should be interesting. And you know what? This is, like I said, short and sweet. We're getting out of here in under 30 minutes. That's going to do it for Around the Ring this week. Again, tomorrow we will have up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Around the Ring OK, a full review of NXT TakeOver and the Royal Rumble. Should be awesome. Floyd is down in the San Antonio, so you can check him out online at the Twitter and Facebook. The handle there is Floyd Johnson Jr. You can check me out online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Oklahoma Lefty, and also check out my music blog, oklahomalefty.com. And I do a podcast, the Oklahoma Lefty Podcast, that should be dropping later today for the latest episode. Just head over to oklahomalefty.com and give that a check out. And don't forget to follow the show. Around the Ring OK is where you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can also check out the homepage, aroundtheringok.wordpress.com. That's going to do it on behalf of Floyd Johnson. I am Dave Brown. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great Royal Rumble day, and take care of yourselves out there.
You've been listening to Around the Ring on the Spark Radio Network.
All you have to do is change your point of view and believe.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Damn! Woo!
This sucks more than anything that I've ever sucked before.
What? It's for charity.